welcome back to another episode of Learn with Shavern. Thank you all for joining again. We're going to start off with today's quote, 3 fun facts, and jump right into today's lesson. I want to apologize to you guys because I mentioned the quote yesterday and it slipped my mind to tie in how it related. So I'm going to do that today along with today's quote. Okay, so today's quote is, "The most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." For those of you who missed yesterday's episode, yesterday's quote was by Thomas Edison, where he said, just because something doesn't do what you planned it to do doesn't mean it's useless. So for those of you that have made your list for your wants, even if your want doesn't go exactly how you planned it out, if you still end up with the end result, doesn't matter how you got there. So that was the one thing I wanted to mention. And today's quote is going to tie in today's lesson about feeling the things that you want. All right, I'm not a singer, guys, so sorry about that. But I am excited to share this information with you guys. And I am always in a mindset of feeling good to attract more of that. Even if I've had a rough day, I always still try to feel good because, as I mentioned yesterday, you want to always remain positive even when you're experiencing negative things. You don't want to absorb that negativity. You want to repel it with your positivity, right? That positive shield. All right, today's fun fact. So I don't know if you guys caught yesterday anywhere the fact that USA Gymnastics interim CEO Mary Bono has resigned. So apparently the reason that she resigned was because she was not supporting Colin Kaepernick when he took a knee. And so she had a pair of shoes and someone apparently took a picture of her shoes where she scratched out the Nike logo, not supporting Colin Kaepernick. So that's in sports news. In technology news today, Boston Dynamics, who is actually the same company that created Atlas, has created another robot. Woohoo! Kudos to you, Boston Dynamics. For whoever your scientists are in there, they have definitely tapped into their God mind and are creating some really amazing things. So the new robot that they created actually can dance now. In comparison to Atlas, who can do parkour. I mentioned that a few episodes ago about the humanoid robot Atlas doing parkour. Now they have a new robot that can dance. And I don't know about you guys, but I love to dance because it makes me feel good. Now, I don't necessarily like dancing in front of huge crowds. I prefer the comfort of my own home, in my bedroom. I throw on some feel-good music and feel good and focus on whatever it is I want to focus on that day, that week, or that month. All right, last fun fact on this day in history. It's actually really interesting. For October 17th, there were 3 things that I found. In my opinion, I don't believe that anything in history is by accident, and I don't believe that there are any coincidences in history. So the 3 things I found for October 17th. October 17th in 1907, the first telegraph was sent from the United States. 20 years later, October 17th in 1927, the United States Post Office added the airmail option. So it's actually pretty interesting what they did. So where people put their 10-cent stamp in the upper corner at that time, back in 1927, all they had to do was write next to it, airmail. So far we've come so far. And again, if you guys watched my episode 12, where I spoke about how to find your want, I mentioned in there to look around you. Everything around you was once an idea. So we went from writing airmail in our paper to just the sticker when we go to the post office. And last but not least, also on October 17th in 1933, Albert Einstein fled Germany to come to the US and landed in Princeton, New Jersey. So I thought those were really interesting things that happened on October 17th, and some pretty interesting coincidences that the US did in their history. Okay, so for today's lesson about feeling good, right? If you have written down what you want and you've affirmed it every day, and you are loving and caring to your first and second self because you've cleared out all that clutter out your life, and now you're like, yes, I am ready for all the good things, I am ready for all the abundance the universe has to send my way. The last step is to feel it, right? Once you hold that picture in your mind for those 8 to 10 seconds at a minimum, you want to feel how it feels when you have that thing that you want, right? You want to already imagine how you're going to feel when you have that thing. Okay, so yesterday's example, I used the car as an example. If you wanted a new car, right? So you want to feel how you're going to feel when you see that car and when you're driving it off the lot, right? Don't worry or get hung up about the finer details like how are you going to afford it or where's the money going to come from. Let the universe do. You know that saying that they say, let go and let God? This is kind of falls hand in hand with that. Let go of those fear factors, right? Forget everything and rise. Let go of those fear factors and let the universe give you what you want. Okay, if you feeling good about this thing, you holding on to it, you speaking it into existence, you affirming it to yourself, you're praying on it every day, all of these steps combined are going to give you exactly what you want, right? As I mentioned in video 8, where it takes 21 days to build up a healthy habit, right? It takes a minimum of 21 days. So for those of you who have not put into practice yet your good healthy habits for the 21 days, for the days we have left in October, use November as your month to practice your 21 days, okay? It's really important for the things, if you want it to come to fruition, that you remain consistent, all right? If you notice, the seasons are consistent. No matter where you live, the same thing happens. We consistently do the same things every day, right? So imagine if you incorporated that same energy into the same things that you do every day into getting the things that you want. See, this is what they never taught you in school. This is what they actually don't teach you in church. They tell you to believe in God, but they forget to remind you that in order to believe in God, you have to first believe in yourself, because belief starts in here and up here before it can start out there, right? So believe in yourself. Affirm that you feel good, right? We're going to talk about vision boards in tomorrow's episode and creating your vision board. This could be another tool in addition to writing your sticky notes or your note on your mirror or dashboard or whatever of your reminders of the things that you want, okay? And keep in mind, you don't have to get everything at one time. You can baby step it. It's okay. You want to become abundant, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself with abundance. And to explain what I mean further, think about those people who you've ever seen hit the lotto and then end up worse than they were before they had the money. Okay, so asking for everything at one time, be careful what you ask for because you may actually get it. You want to pace yourself in things that you want. Maybe you want 10 things. Maybe you want to narrow those 10 things down to your top 5 or top 3, and maybe even a top 1 for each month that you're going to focus on to create into fruition for you. You have all the time in the world to create the things that you want. Even if it's to affirm that you're healthy. I am healthy. You want to feel the healthiness growing through you, okay? In another episode, we're going to actually discuss your relationship with water, right? What is your relationship with water? I mentioned in previous episodes that the universe gives us things in abundance. So the reason why we're going to discuss your relationship with water is because water is all around us, and it is pre-programmed with the history of the entire world and humanity in it, right? So like 80 or 85% of the Earth's crust is made out of water. 80 or 85% of the human body is made out of water. There's a connection there. As I mentioned, there's no coincidences in life, right? Everything happens for a reason. I appreciate you all's liking, sharing, join in to watch another episode of Learn with Shavern. Please subscribe to become a Patreon. If there's anybody you know that can benefit from this information, definitely share it with them. Even if you don't feel they could benefit from this information and they need something new to watch on YouTube, share this with them. Stay tuned for tomorrow's episode where I'm going to share with you guys my vision board to give you an example of how to create your own vision board. Thank you all and have a wonderful, positive, and productive day. Peace and blessings, family.